Leeds lobby. It's good to see you. It's the first time we've actually gone live at all, so it's quite new to us in that regard. So we're looking at what the chat is and what people are saying. If there's anybody in, then we've not got anybody in at the minute, and I don't know how that works. So we're going to continue to go, but we're actually going to do a pre-match preview of the Crystal Palace and Leeds United game that's going to be on tomorrow. It's quite interesting. It's another Premiership team. I was listening to the Phil Hay show earlier on today, and somebody made a really good point, which is it's not really a good idea in pre-season for teams to necessarily be playing teams in the same division, because even though they're a friendly at that time,
six viewers now,
we can find that ourselves in a situation where we're battling against teams that are in the same division as us, and we saw that with the Villa game.
We can give away sort of some of how we're going to be playing next season, really, can't we?
It's not so much that. I think that some of these games can be quite feisty, even though they're pre-season. You don't want to get an injury just before the start of the season.
Yeah.
And we saw with Archie Gray, obviously he's got a sprained ankle, and we've got a bit of a source inside Ellen Road that's connected with us on Twitter that's telling us a bit of information. Evening, we've got and they're telling us that effectively Archie Gray he might even be on the pitch. He might even be playing tomorrow morning, which I don't expect to see that, but it's really good to know that he's not limping. He's not in a situation where he's feeling bad.
Yeah, I think that is a really, the game is at 11:05 if I'm correct. So I'll be at school. I'll be playing some Brexit football in PE.
I've been watching it on my monitor at work, and fortunately for me, I'm the boss, so I get to do that while everybody else is working, and I'll just have to have it on silent.
Yeah.
But
as I was saying about Archie Gray, he's a really good young prospect, and that was a dangerous tackle. If that could have been a few seconds later or a few seconds earlier, even then, that could have snapped his leg, could have completely ruined his career. But we've already done a video on that. So what do you expect to see, Dad?
I think one thing that's
yeah. I agree. I did meet him at one of the under-23s game, waiting for him after school, got a picture for him. Not after school, after the game, got a picture with him. So
I saw his dad play at a testimonial in Yorkshire when he were. I mean, when he
we're
were
glad
well
he's okay.
I think the thing with it is that one thing I'm seeing. I looked at some highlight videos of Tyler Adams, and I actually think we're going to get to. Thank you very much, Logan. We're going to get to the end of the first couple of games, and what we're going to find is that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to put this out there now. People talked about Mo Kamara as being a preferred choice to Tyler Adams. I think we're going to get halfway through the season, and I'm going to think that that's going to look like a very stupid comment. And the reason why is I think he's going to be stunning, absolutely stunning. I watched some highlight videos of him. Now, one thing that's very, very different about the way we play against Bielsa is that fitness is very, very important. Fitness is very, very important to Bielsa's system, because it's a constant press to win the ball back. Now, what Bielsa and what Marsh's system do differently in terms of what they do with the ball is that Bielsa would quite happily recycle the ball, bring the ball back, look to work it out at the back slowly and create an opportunity. And that would allow the opposing team to reset. What Marsh does is they press. They're quite happy to see the opposing team have the ball in that third and be recycling and messing around with the ball, because what he will look to do is he will look to press the ball, win it straight away, turn around and face goal immediately.
Yeah. And Brian in the chat, I've made that comparison myself, Tyler Adams to Fabian Delph. Obviously, I think Delph played for Leeds for a bit. He's at Everton now. He's a free agent. But I have.
We're at Villa. Did he go to Villa?
No, he's at Everton, I think.
Fabian Delph went to Villa from Leeds. If you know the answer to that, he did go to Villa, didn't he?
I have made that comparison myself. I think that he's a very similar profile of player.
Yeah, but I think that Tyler Adams, when you look at some of his highlights video, and there is a highlight video on YouTube. I think I'm going to do a video at some stage. The next technical video that I do will be looking at Tyler Adams, and why I think he's going to be pivotal in this particular setup is he's a phenomenal ball winner. Leeds are literally, and you know where this whole thing where defensive players look to edge the attacking team out, look to try and cut their options down and gradually win the ball back. Leeds aren't going to play like that. Leeds are going to literally be hell for leather, chasing the ball, pressing the ball and putting in tackles. I'm seeing Rasmus Christensen winning the ball in advanced positions, and I'm seeing Tyler Adams winning the ball in advanced positions, and it excites me.
One thing that I was I was a bit worried about when I did look at Palace is that they do have aerially dominant forwards. Mateta is over 6 foot. Benteke over 6 foot. Ferguson, he's not that tall. He's a bit like a Liam Cooper. He's a bit short, but he's got a header on him. All of their forwards, Zaha even is tall. Zaha's massive. They've got aerially dominant, even Sloop. They've got aerially dominant forwards. So that's a problem for us if we don't sort out this problem in our defence with winning headers and winning aerials. That could be a big problem. But I think we could have sorted that out by now.
Taka Reka, yes, I love hunting impacts. It's literally like watching. You know what it reminds me of? You know when you go on holiday and you take a little bit of bread paste with your dad, because I used to do it with my dad, and he used to put it on and he used to shove it in water, and you just get like fish coming from everywhere. It's like that almost. Yeah. We hunt in packs, in shoals.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see. Yeah. Have we got a striker yet?
No, it's the short answer.
I put something on Twitter, and if you're not
Killer
following
Bees. Killer Bees is exactly what it is.
If you're not following the Twitter account, go over to the Leeds Lobby Twitter account and follow us on there, because we're putting some content on there. We're working on the Facebook page. You haven't worked out how to stop it from in a private group yet. But what I'm thinking about this Charles de Ketelaere transfer is that people are saying we're not his first choice. Therefore, look, listen, we wouldn't have been Rafinha's first choice when he came from Rennes. We just wouldn't. We were the only team that were in for him. And what I listened to the Phil Hay show, and what I found quite interesting is we were after Dan James at Man United, and a transfer window before that, and it didn't get done. And as a result, we went for the second choice, which was Rafinha at the time. And look at how that's turned out.
Yeah.
I think that people talk about Barcelona, and there is an extent to which, like when you leave a relationship or you leave a job, you either leave a job because you don't like the job you're in, or you leave a job because you get an offer that is a brilliant offer, and you're only leaving because you want to go there. We moved house 2 or 3 years ago, and we wanted this one house, which is where we now live. Had that house not been on the market, we wouldn't have been moving. And I think that there's a situation with Rafinha where he came out and said if he didn't end up at Barcelona, he would stay at Leeds, if everybody recalls.
Oh yeah, obviously Rafinha is better than Dan James. Obviously,
without a doubt, Rafinha is better than Dan James.
Wouldn't say he wasn't.
But the point I'm trying to make is Rafinha was our second choice, and we ended up with him. And it turned out for us a really, really excellent transfer. The thing with it is, though, Rafinha was never going to go to Chelsea, and he was never going to go to Arsenal. I mean, you can tell the Arsenal fans who were putting all these tribute videos up, and the Chelsea videos were putting the tribute videos up. I mean, all of a sudden, Rafinha was better than Saka. We always knew that he was anyway, didn't we, to be fair?
Yeah.
But the point is, he only left because he wanted to go to Barcelona. He didn't actually want to leave Leeds, per se. He just wanted to go to Barcelona. Now, the Charles de Ketelaere transfer saga is very, very different, because although he wants to go to AC Milan, he only prefers AC Milan over Leeds.
When he did the interview, he never said that he doesn't want to come to Leeds. His interview was that AC Milan is his preference, basically.
It's his preference over Leeds. But he definitely wants to leave Bruges. So that's the thing. So here we are in a situation where Leeds have done, I think, the sensible thing. If we get this guy in, he's going to be amazing. And De Ketelaere, there's no doubt about it with his stats. He's going to be really good for Leeds. Better than Tony, better than Terrier.
If he comes. But Tony and Terrier is a really good question. If you put in the chat who you would rather have, we've obviously got quite a few people join quickly, but put in the chat who you'd rather have. Personally, me, I would have Tony. Ivan Toney looks a really good player.
Was Rafinha ever going to end up at Chelsea? Bearing in mind, he said if he doesn't go to Barca, he's staying at Leeds. De Ketelaere has not said he doesn't want to come to Leeds. De Ketelaere has actually said of the two, he prefers AC Milan, but he definitely wants out of Bruges. Now, Leeds have done something very sensible. We've put a €40 million bid in for De Ketelaere. What's going to do Leeds is the time, because the time is running down. And if we don't sign De Ketelaere, we have to have the time to go for somebody else, right? I think we will end up getting him, personally. That's my prediction. Dan's the one for the right predictions, not me. I think we'll get him, but I think if we do get him, I think he's going to be an absolute monster. I think the next video we do tomorrow at 5:30, we're probably going to spend a little bit of time looking at each of the transfers that Leeds have made and rating how we think they fit into the Jesse Marsh system, what they're going to offer us.
Yeah. Someone saying, I would have Terry, I don't like Tony's attitude, but Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has a bad attitude, but you would take him in Leeds in a heartbeat. Most people seem to be preferring Ivan Toney, which is my preference. Is a proven Premier League striker, really.
Do you remember Balotelli? Do you remember
Balotelli?
Balotelli?
Aguero!
And I don't know what that were all about. We set dog off. Do you remember Balotelli? Who's got the biggest ego in world football?
Zlatan.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Haaland's got a
He's
pretty big ego.
41. Just about to sign another 1 year extension. 41 years old, this fella. Does he actually age? He's the biggest ego in world football. I'd have him at Leeds for a year. I know that much.
Yeah. That's another thing. You see, AC Milan, Zlatan's just signed, and the Peppa Pig rumours have now gone away. We're on to George now. But the thing is, they've just tied Zlatan down to another contract. So like, what role is De Ketelaere going to play in that AC Milan side? Is he going to be a rotation player? Because let's be real, he's not getting in ahead of Zlatan for me.
No, he's not. But he might learn a lot from Zlatan, and he may think if he goes there, it's going to be going to be a good move. Just shut that window.
You would rather have a proven Premier League striker that with a slightly bad attitude is taking the mick out of Brentford sometimes, but we take the mick out of Brentford. We don't like Brentford. They're a bit like Millwall fans. They're not massive rivals, but we don't really like them.
They see us as rivals. We're not really that bothered.
So
frankly,
it should be good that he's taking the mick out of Brentford, calling them a small club, saying that someone came up to him in a car. He was sat in his car and someone said, "Do you play football?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "Where'd you play?" He says, "Nowhere special." You know, he doesn't. This guy doesn't even like Brentford that much. Let's be real. But if he came Leeds, maybe he would. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he would. But again, I suppose it's a side before self sort of thing. We don't want somebody as a club. If you've got a good dressing room and you've got a good team ethos and you've got players that work for each other, which is what team's all about. Can it risk it if you bring a player like that in? I think sometimes it possibly can, but then you can be in a situation where you've got a Pablo Di Canio who's one step ahead of everybody else and the team revolves around him, and that can also work as well. But I think for Leeds, we need somebody, how old's Tony?
I'm Tony, 24, turning 25.
Yeah, he's probably a year too old. We seem to be signing younger players.
Yeah, but Rocker's 24.
Yeah, well...
Christensen's 24, Rocker's 24.
Yeah, they're all, yeah.
And Tyler Adams is 25. You can't...
Tyler Adams is not 25. He's younger than 25. 25. Is he 25? Tyler Adams 25?
Let me just...
I thought Tyler Adams was 23. I don't think Tyler Adams is 25, mate.
Let me just have a look.
It might even be 22.
But anyway, what's your predicted lineup for the game?
I think what we're going to start seeing is Jack is not going anywhere.
23.
I saw he was 23.
Jack's going nowhere.
Right for a change.
Jack's going nowhere. What I've said before is that the interview we did where he said we'll see what happens is because he's in contract talks with Leeds. He's only got 2 years left on his contract, right? He's in contract talks with Leeds, and he doesn't want to show his hand. He doesn't want to tell them what's going through his mind. Really, he wants to get the best deal possible for him and his agent.
Yeah, and Dan said that almost straight away. In actual fact, I was watching Just Joe the other day, and think they were doing a stream where there were the four of them there. And I think he made the same point that Jack Harrison is not going to come out and say, I'm 100% committed to leaving United. I'm not going anywhere. And if he's in contract talks, it doesn't make sense for him to do that. I don't see Newcastle paying the 35 million for him. I think they'd go for another player rather than do that. We should be worried about Cooper's injury. Achilles issues tend to go on for a very long time and rarely resolve without significant rehab.
Is he going to play a massive part though?
He's 30 years old.
Season?
I'm not entirely sure he was going to play a big role in this season. I've said right the way from start one, if we are playing with a holding midfield, if we're playing with a double pivot, we will start with Cook and Strauch 100% because Cook plays right back, Strauch plays left back. If you are having wing backs, fire down those wings.
They won't be playing at full back though. They will be at centre back.
No, yeah, there will be at centre back. But what I'm saying is, if you've got somebody on the left wing, somebody on the right wing, wing backs that is, full backs who are hairing up, and the main offensive output as far as crosses is concerned, you're going to need that cover. This is where Tyler Adams and Rocker cover. and Koch or Strauch on their respective sides will move over to provide cover. That's why Strauch has to be competent at left back, and Koch has to be competent at right back, and that's why I think they will be the preferred option. And for me, if you'd have said to me at the end of last season, who would I have preferred to see forming a regular partnership, it would be those two players. Which means that for me, I think Tyler Adams will end up being Leeds captain by the middle of the season, if not the end of the season. I don't think Cooper will get his place back particularly. I'd like Cooper. I like him as captain. I like what he stands for. I like the kind of guy he is. I like what he is at Leeds United. I like him as a leader. But I just think this is going to be a season where he's not going to finish quite as in contention for that first team place as he is at the start of the season. And we haven't even signed anybody at central.
To be fair, I think it's going to be Adams or Koch who ends up being the captain, because Koch did wear the armbands quite a few times for his old club. I can't remember where he actually did play, but he wore the armband quite a few times there, and I think he is actually a decent leader. But who would you personally? I'd have Christensen, because I wouldn't want to argue with Christensen.
Right back, I think
who would you have at fullback to the Palace game then?
Even if Ayling was fit, I'd be starting with Christensen. I've seen his work
for the Palace game.
Yeah, Christensen.
Right. Christensen,
because I'm seeing him tackle up the pitch, and I'm seeing him, second or third effort at winning that ball. He's going to be very, very popular at Leeds.
Okay, what about left?
The last video I did actually, I think I did some footage on there.
Freeberg, that's the one.
I showed Christensen going in and winning that tackle and making 2 or 3 tackles to win that ball back and recycling it. And then it's almost like, we've got the ball now, we're off. It's like win the flag.
Rasmus Nater, someone's
Rasmus Nater.
I don't think I catch on. For me, it's his magic.
Christian Nater.
No. It's his magic. Rasmus the Danish Drago.
Danish Drago, that's pretty good.
Who'd you have at left back then?
Left back tomorrow, that's probably Helder.
Hjelde, I would probably give Hjelde a run out at left back.
Do you think we need a left back? Do you think we're in for a left back?
I think Marsh has done an interview and said that we're looking for a left back as much as we're looking for a striker. So we're either not looking for either very much, or we're actively pursuing both very much.
What did you think of Forshaw in that last game?
I thought he did decent. I think he can come on as a substitute, because worst comes to worst, he's passing sideways to Roca, and we know that Roca's just gonna play it out, and he's a phenomenal player so far from what we've seen. Tagliafico, I know Tagliafico's gone somewhere. I know that Fabrizio Romano was reporting a move for him this morning. But for sure, I think he will be a rotation player, especially because we've got 5 subs.
And that's a really good shout. Is it Bengio 1983? That's a really good shout. We've been talking about Harrison at left back. Harrison, I think, started his career as a left back.
Started his career as a left back.
And I think that I'd like to see someone. Again, you see how this is where we are stronger in depth this season. We've sent out a lot of players. We've actually sent out 8 or 9 players.
Yeah.
Rafinha has gone. Obviously, Phillips has gone. Who else has gone?
Just have to.
Yeah, we've got remove. We've got remove.
We've got to remove these.
Remove there. That's it.
Yeah, we've got to remove these.
So. Yeah. So we what was it said? So I was talking about
Harrison at left back, Somerville.
Yeah, Somerville. See, we've had Rafinha go. We've had
the Botsman.
Yeah, the Botsman. We've had Rafinha go. We've had Phillips go. We've had Shackleton go. We've had
Cresswell.
Tyler Roberts go.
Nohan Kenner.
Who else we had to go?
Shackleton,
Cresswell.
I think you already said Shackleton. Cresswell, I think that's it. Marsha said he's not looking.
7.
Marsha said we don't want any more outgoings. We're not.
We've got Cooper injured.
Yeah,
we've got
need
Firpo
some
injured, and we've got Bamford who, he might even stub his toe tonight while he's making a cup of tea. So we've got 10 players that are either injured or some have got that in their system. Okay, so there's 10. Who have we brought in? We've brought Rasmus in. We've brought Tyler Adams and Rocker in. We've brought Aronson in. We've brought Sinisterra in.
Yeah, we've brought in JB. We've brought in Sonny Perkins, who again is somebody that looks pretty sunny. Especially, he's pretty sunny.
So
5 subs. He could play.
Jabby, we've brought him in, so we've brought 8 players in. Now,
let me just double check that.
Here's the thing, right? At the start of last season, we didn't have Joffrey as a first team option and somebody that had got the experience to say we can start this guy in the first team. We have that now. We have Greenwood now, who we're confident to give a start to. We've got Archie Gray, who I think will feature somewhat in this in this game. So in actual fact, when you think about it in those terms, we've actually in real terms thinking about, we've got 11 players in. We still need, if we're going to strengthen the squad, to bring 2 or 3 players in. What do you think?
Striker and left back would do me. We're looking at Josh Tymon from Stoke. I think it would be a decent player. He scores a few goals, obviously, in the Championship. Started every game for Stoke, I think. So it would be a good signing for me. And then Brereton Diaz or Ivan Toney or Kettle Chips, obviously.
New Kettler. I think Dick Kettler will come.
Yeah, I don't think he will. Honestly, I think he'll be at Milan by the end of next week. And I think we'll probably get Brereton Diaz. Is probably my... Hey, got some lights on.
Got some light. Brereton Diaz. Okay, but Brereton Diaz, apparently there's a Premiership club.
Yeah, he was left out of today's pre-season friendly because of a bid from an unnamed Premier League club. What about Callum Wendo? I don't see it happening. He scored for PSG for the friendlies, and I think the manager has come out and said they're not. He's had a good pre-season, and they're not looking to sell him anytime soon. PSG's now got a new model. They're signing young players. They're not just signing all of the old players that are close to retiring. They're signing the young talents. I think that's PSG have turned over a new leaf now. They're trying to build for the future of the club.
I can't see him bringing Callum Wendo in,
So
because
I think
of Callum Wendo's age and the type of player that he is, it'd be direct competition for Joffrey. And I don't think we need direct competition for Joffrey in that team now. I don't think that's doing Joffrey a disservice. I think we need to be bringing a player in that's a proper number 9, that's a replacement for Bamford, that will play alongside Joffrey if Bamford's injured, or indeed if they displace Bamford from that side. So that's my thinking, which is why I don't think we're going to go for a Callum Wendo. I think we're going to go for somebody that's, or even the Terrier. I don't think we'll bring him in either. I think we're more likely it'll be CDK, or we'll have another option that probably we're not even on the radar, like the Sinistera signing.
We've just hit 100. Now we're on 108. Could you please all just like the video quickly, because we could get quite a few likes now.
We really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, then by all means do subscribe. It was Terrier.
If we don't get CDK, we should go. I think we should get a striker that's proven in the English leagues, even if it's not the Premier League. Get Brereton Diaz in. Maybe look at.
Terrier's had some good numbers last year, but some people are saying, look, he's only done it one season. So, again, but having said that, Bamford's.
It's
only one season, really, hasn't he?
Our local team is Ilkeston Town, so he's played. That's where he started his.
Who?
But our local team.
Who started our local team?
Our local team is Ilkeston Town. That's where Brereton Diaz played.
Is it really?
Brereton Diaz played at Ilkeston Town.
Yeah, so did Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want Harry Maguire.
I also played for Nottingham Forest, which is where everyone supports around here. So there's a lot of talk going on about that.
So let's have a look then. So we're talking about.
We've got CDM partnership, Tyler Adams and Rocket, obviously.
Yes.
Who's your winners?
We've talked about centre halves. Ultimately, I would rather have Charlie Cresswell at centre half.
Yeah,
I am saying that.
He did score another goal for Millwall the other day.
He's gonna tear up the Championship next year, and we're gonna think to ourselves, you know what, we should just
No, not really. It'll be like a Ben White for us, really. It'll be like what Ben White was for Brighton. We'll send him out to a Championship team, and he'll come back and be fighting for the England team.
Left back.
I'm going to
put something in there very controversial. If we get to the start of the if we get to the start of the Premiership season and we haven't signed anybody else, we will re-sign Johnny Alioski.
Ooh, that's close. That's yeah.
I know that it's unpopular at certain circumstances, but I think Marsh is going to be more concerned with the attacking capabilities of his fullbacks than the defensive capabilities. And I think Alioski, being somebody who used to be a winger, is somebody that Marsh is going to be very, very interested in. So for me, if we're talking about, because we're mixing different things here, we're mixing who we're going to be buying, and because people are wanting to know about that this time of the season, which is understandable. We're talking about the current upcoming game. The person I think is going to start at left back is going to be Harrison.
Yeah.
I don't think he's concerned. I don't think he's certain enough about Leif Davis. The thing with Leif Davis is, we're not sure if he's. It's not obvious that he's not good enough.
Yeah.
But it's not obvious that he is good enough.
Yeah.
So we will get some time tomorrow, but I think that first half, I think Harrison will start at right.
Max Aaron is a right back. Rico Henry's I think he plays both. Charlie Taylor taking left back. Someone put, would you take Danny Ings?
Charlie Taylor, you've been watching one Leeds, haven't you?
Yeah. Danny Ings is a striker, but I would 100% take him, but he would be wanting to start. We would also take Alioski back.
I'd take Alioski back.
Yeah.
I liked Alioski.
Who's your wingers?
So, Harrison will play left back. People are talking about,
think
would
Yelder
Harrison want to play a left back? People are talking about, would Harrison want to play left back? In this side, Harrison will still get assists and he'll still get goals from left back the way that Marsh is going to play. Because further up the pitch, he's not going to be competing for space with the winger, because that winger is going to be receiving the ball and moving inwards. So in regards to that, we are not going to be too worried about that. I don't know how we stop these bots.
We need to get some moderators.
What do we do there?
Put user in timeout.
User in timeout. How do you do that?
Hey, you look. We're just
put user in timeout.
We're just sort of finding out how you do all of this. So keep talking.
Yeah. So for me, I think Harrison is still going to get assists. He's still going to develop his career in that position. But we'll see. People talked about Tottenham wanting him. And that was Conte was talking about having him as a wing back, and because this is a world class manager, so if he's doing the case, why is Jesse Marsh not? Why is he not sensible? Why are we playing him out of position? Because in today's game, wing backs and left backs are basically wingers now anyway, and wingers are basically left backs. It makes no odds the way that the team's set up nowadays.
Logan says we're doing good. Thank you.
Thank you,
It's our first live.
So that's a question.
Yeah. Who's your wingers then?
So we've covered the central two. We do. Yeah. I think Forshaw will get some time.
I would start as wingers. I would start Sinisterra and Harrison, provided that Hjelder's at left back. We've not put Harrison in an inverted winger in these pre-season friendlies yet. Just give him. We've only got 2 games left. Start putting him as an inverted winger. For me, I wouldn't put him at left back as my dad says. I would sign a left back. I would put Harrison as an inverted winger and start Sinisterra. He needs to start Sinisterra at some point.
Right, we'll block next time he comes up. So left back, I think Harrison, and right wing, I think Dan James. And I'm saying that because Dan James is we want to get him. He is somebody that he's had a not great season. He's had a lot of critics, but he hasn't played in position. He hasn't had a run of games in position. So I think that Dallas won't need the defensive instincts, because I think we're going to be using him as an attacker, not as a defensive player. And I think what you'll find is that Tyler Adams will sit a little bit deeper to allow him to get forward. That's my thoughts. So again, across the middle, I'm talking about Forshaw will get some time, but we're talking about Adams and Rocker in the middle. I think personally Dan James on the right, Sinisterra on the left. I think Sinisterra will get a full 90 minutes.
Sinisterra on the left, and then Brendan Aronson in attacking midfield. That's pretty obvious, that one, I think.
Brendan Harrison, and
I would start Bamford. Give him some minutes. Bamford
will get 90 minutes.
Try and get him back to where he was.
Aronson will come off at half time and Joffrey will come on. That's what I think will actually happen. Helder will probably play left back tomorrow.
Okay, just before to start wrapping it up, what's your score prediction? Start putting in the live chat what your score predictions are.
Yeah, my score predictions. I'm
pulling an all-nighter for this one, lads. It's a good thing to pull an all-nighter.
I don't think the score for this one actually matters. 3-0. I don't think it'll be 3-0. I'd love it if it were 3-0.
Palace are a team that love to give chances to young players. Marsh is as well, but he's not as established at Leeds as Vieira is at Palace. Vieira loves to give a chance to the young players, so we could really just see a lineup of their under-23s, but their under-23s all rip us apart.
Tom Gatlin has put, I don't think Jesse really fancies Bamford.
I think he does.
I think we really need a Bamford at the back end of last season, and I think it's telling that when we really needed Bamford at the back end of last season, he weren't there.
There's a lot of 2-1 Leeds.
It was actually Rafinha that kept us up last season, and Harrison that kept us up last season. And I think that for me, Rafinha got his payday in the sense that he got his move to his dream club. Harrison, I think will stay at the club, and I think he will come to a point where he'll be at the club for a very long time, and I hope so, because I really like the guy, really like what he brings to the club, I really like his energy, really like his effort. So for me, Jesse Marsh doesn't fancy Bamford. We will see. He's obviously managing him and having to be very careful. But even if he is fit, he's ring rusty. So we'll see. I mean,
what's your score prediction though?
The other one more question before I ask them to do the score prediction. Do you think we're going to get to the end of the season and find that do you think that Joffrey's going to be more likely to be the first on the team sheet than Bamford when it comes to that attacking role?
All depends if he gets back to full fitness, and I'm not going to comment on that until we see how he does in the Premier League. Really.
Yeah, let's get the likes up. We've 116. We've only got 65 likes. We're doing our first ever live stream, guys, and I'm going to say that we normally we're getting sort of on some videos we're getting 500, 600 likes on some of our videos. So just hit that like button. So let me ask you. Yeah, I just asked a question: Joffrey or Bamford? If you could have Joffrey fit for a whole season and Bamford playing every single game, but you could only have one, which would you have?
I would probably, if I had to pick one, I would probably still keep Bamford and put Joffrey on as a sub. I would still bring him on at half time, give him as much time as possible, but I would start Bamford just for the time being. That's what I would pick at the minute, sitting here on this day, and then put Joffrey on at half time. But maybe it'll change the next season.
Yeah, I think Joffrey is not an out-and-out number 9, but I think he's going to be somebody who plays off the shoulder of. Man, did you see that header?
The Joffrey header,
yeah. Header he scored. I didn't even know he got that in his locker.
I did. He's always been good.
Yeah, I mean, he's. There's a possibility we're gonna. This is what I think we're going to see at the end of the season. I think Greenwood is going to be one of the breakout players this season, and Greenwood's going to be somebody who is going to prove to be in the starting 11, more or less, really coming to his own. I think we're going to see Giarbi and realise that we've paid 5 or 7 million for somebody that's going to be worth 80 or 90 in a few years' time.
80 or 90, that's a big
I think he's going to be amazing. I think
big
Rocker and Adams are going to be two massive fan favourites because they're going to be constantly working to win the ball back. It's going to be decisive and important within this particular. And I think that Greenwood again.
Yeah,
we've got exciting times.
I would loan Greenwood. I would personally loan Greenwood. I do love him. He has a big future, but I would still loan him. Maybe just who's he going to get in ahead of Aronson now? We've got Aronson, Rodrigo, Joffrey, all fighting with the same positions as him. I would.
But can you imagine this time next year, and we get a Cresswell back from Millwall, and he scored 8 goals and got 3 assists.
About your youngster, well in McGinn, yeah, well, we'll save you the time, mate. We'll put you in time out, son.
Can you imagine getting Cresswell back? Interesting. So, thanks ever so much for
what are your score predictions? We need the
score predictions. I want to see us keep a clean sheet. I want to see us
what
keep
do you think the score will be, though?
I think it'll be 2-0. I'm going to be optimistic. I don't think Palace will put their full side out in the same way that we will. I think we'll put a really strong side out. I think Forshaw will have a really good game. I think Diaby will get some time on the pitch.
No chance, someone says. No chance.
I'm hoping that we'll see 2-1. 2-1, 2-0. But I do want to see a clean sheet. If we
I think it'll be 2-2. Just being the voice of reason, I think it'll be 2-2.
Okay, so thanks again. The chat will continue. So
who's your goal scorers then?
Who's my goal scorers? Aronson will get his first goal for Leeds, and I think Christiansen will get a goal for Leeds. I think Joffrey will look dangerous all the way throughout that game.
Bamford and James.
Yes,
Bamford and James for me. Bamford and James in a 2-2 win. I think for Palace it'll be Zaha and who have they got? I think it'll be Zaha definitely, but I don't know who else. I know most of the Palace players, but I don't know which one will score.
So thanks ever so much for coming on. If you've experienced with us our first live, thanks ever so much for joining us. The comments are going to continue down below. We do respond to the comments, so feel free to put stuff on there. We'll work our way through them. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share the content.
Yeah,
we're going to continue doing these videos. We really enjoy doing them together.
Yeah, Zaha has got scary speed. He is a great player. Also, though, he did play for Scum, so we will see you tomorrow evening, if not before. And enjoy the game if you get to see it.
And
11:05 for the people who are asking the time. It is 11:05.
11:05 is the game. We're going to be getting back doing a live chat tomorrow at 5:30.
Yeah, we've got a live scheduled.
We're also going to talk a little bit about what we think of each and every signing that we've made, both in and out, whether we think it's wise business from Leeds and how we think they're going to do in the next season. So join us
What's
for
Lindsay
that
saying?
at
Someone
5:30.
Lindsay, Palace are winning 2-0, easy game. Your team is bad. You're only... Yeah, well, we'll put you in timeout, fella. Okay.
Can't put Packers in time.
It's the great power of controlling the
Thank
live.
you for joining us.
Thank you.
See you next
Goodbye.
time.
See you next time.